Okay, thank you so much for being here. It's the last one. Thank you, God, for it, no? Okay, thank you for being here again. I know that's very difficult in the conference, long days, many things to do, many things to learn, many informations. And I hope during this time, let's exchange something together here, okay? So my idea during this conversation is to walk in 3 different steps, and then after that we put in all those things in the same page, in the same thing to understand about there's a kind of effect of the malware in cloud environment, okay? I'm Filipi Pires, and I'm security research and cybersecurity advocate at Senha Segura. Before to talk about me, this is the agenda. First of all, I will explain more about what is a threat, a simple and bullshit start, and theoretic part. I know that you don't like the theoretic part. I know, I don't like to, but it's necessary. And after that, I talk about the concepts about the malware. I will manipulate something like file manipulations, how we can trick the tools, how I understand more deeply about this kind of information. I will explain where this can be the entry point if I upload vulnerability, how we can go. That is a simple, another idiot example. And after that, I will explain more about the specifically malware in PDF. I will do specifically investigation, a kind of reverse engineering, not exactly reverse engineering because I need to do the debugger steps or something like this, but in PDF is quite different. I will explain. And after that, I will explain how we can using this as an attacker or as an attack vector, it means. And after that, I explain how possibles or possibilities to exploring the cloud, because to do this attack, we need to receive some specifically permissions or misconfiguration in this case. And after that, to finalize with some suggestion tools, open source tools, and other free tools that I'm working now. Okay? Now, this is our agenda. It's quite different because I'm looking here, it's small, and here is too big. But anyway. Okay, so who am I? Again, I'm security research and cybersecurity advocate of this company, Senha Segura. Senha Segura, it's a Brazilian company. By the way, I'm Brazilian, but I live in Portugal now. And Senha Segura is responsible for providing different products. The main product is a PAN solution. It's an acronym of the privilege, access management, and cloud solutions, okay? And now in this moment, cloud solution is totally free. We'll explain more about the project in the end, if you want. It's totally free, but probably in the end of this year, we have some enterprise version, but we continue to be this community version, okay, for the cloud provider, for the cloud solutions, okay? And not only this, but I'm one of the founder and advisor of this company, Black and White Technology. Is a consulting company, basically. It's a reseller and responsible for providing penetration testing, application security testings, and whatever related to the cybersecurity. I'm very active in different security communities. I like mainly this one, the hack is not a crime, and the idea behind of this project to spread the message about the hacking is not a move. So I heard some talk about from Tanya now about this kind of concept about the hacker, the guy that like using, the work in the dark is not a hacker, okay? The hacker is the creative mindset, how you can see something and how it can solve problem, okay? That's the concept about the hacking, and that's the idea about this specifically project. It's an American project. I'm one of the advocates of this project. I'm SNCC ambassador, the open source project, of course. Lead one of the DEFCON groups in São Paulo, and I'm a speaker and very contributor of the Red Team Village. And if you'd like to publish something on those 3 magazines here in Europe, by the way, from Poland, and I'm instructor, writer, and reviewer of those 3 magazines. It's a good picture for my mother, wife, and kids. Okay? Of course, they don't speak English, but I sounds like more a rock star, so it's important for him. If you take a picture, send me after that. Nice. Okay, let's talk about our topics. And again, this is the bullshit part, but anyway, what is a threat? Everyone, I hope everyone knows what it is. Basically, based on this ISO, is a potential incident that can cause something in the organization. What kind of software attack, theft of intellectual property, identity theft, sabotage, and information extortion are kind of information security threats. Because remember, we are talking about the malware cloud, but threat is a potential. It's not a really. We need to investigate more about that, okay? One simple question, who works with security here? Just to understand. Okay, nice, nice. Who works with cloud security? Only cloud? Nice, we have a good mix here. Nice, okay. So first of all, when you receive some artifact or you have a sample, this is a kind of flow that you can use to apply your knowledge. You have an artifact or a sample. The first step is the identification. If it is a malware, malicious software, or if it's a maldoc, malicious document, okay? When you receive this potential cause, remember about the threat, potential stuff. So that's the idea, we need to investigate. So first of all, identification step. After that, we chose what the best methodology you can apply, statistical analysis and dynamic analysis. Filipi, where is the reverse engineer? You can use this technique in both approach, okay? Nice. When you do some, or when you perform some analysis, and based on this artifact or investigating this cloud environment, usually my suggestion is to create a report because you can design, you can draw all those steps used by the attacker. Okay, you can understand what kind of technique the attacker used, what kind of bypass they use in a specific environment, what kind of permission they have, or they gain the access inside of the environment. You can not only you can describe all those steps, but my suggestion to you, when you do this kind of report, you can do it in article mode. Why? Because if you don't have any sensitive information, you can publish this as an article. It's an interesting for the career, not only for the manager, but for your career, okay? And after that, you can improve your defenses mechanism because you understand all those steps, you know, used by the attacker or the penetration tester or the researcher, okay? And you can create this beautiful name, Cyber Threat Intelligence, beautiful name, CTI, but sometimes it's difficult to implement in the company, right? Because you need to using, sometimes in the security, very beautiful names, but to apply in the day by day is very difficult. Is that correct or not? Yeah, so I'm asking who works with cloud, who works with security, who works, the same guy, I work with that, I work with that, the same guy work with everything. Yeah, that's the common day, right? Yeah, I thought that's only in Brazil, Portugal, but I think it's all around the world, right? Nice, and not only this, but you can, you know, strengthening another beautiful name, cyber resilience, that's a beautiful name. Gartner loved these words. You know Gartner? Yeah. They like a lot this, but the reality is kind of different. But anyway, okay, this is a flow about how we can do a specifically investigation. What is a statistical analysis? Simple definition. Usually is the first step used by the malware analyst or the defensive side. Why is the first step? Because describe the whole process by this specifically binary, okay, or this executable, or this file, okay? And when you do this, you can understand what kind of, for example, library they can import, what kind of function they call for the system operations, and so on and so forth, okay? Usually, it's more safe, okay? Why? Because you do some commands, you collect some information, you don't execute itself the malware in your environment. Because of that, it's statistical analysis when you do this performance. Oh, I had a meeting this time, but yeah, I'll cancel it because I'm here. Nice. Okay, on the other hand, the dynamic analysis is only based on behavior. It's the runtime analysis. You execute the malware inside of this specific environment, and you understand what is the steps executed by this binary, okay? You can, of course, automate this process using this kind of concept called sandbox. You know what it is, sandbox? Usually is a controlled environment, right? You can do putting this malware to execute itself in this controlled environment, but to be in a sandbox, they need to be in specifically engines inside of this controlled environment because these engines will be bringing you the information if it's malicious or not, based on this engine. If you don't have any engines inside of this sandbox, it's only virtual machine in the controlled environment, okay? Just a simple concept. Okay, let's talk about file manipulation. Okay, demo, and cross your fingers, and let's see what happened. Okay, so now, we have here more than one files, okay? So, if you see, let's suppose, so we have here many files. You need to understand the first step. Remember the flow? Identification step, right? So what kind of command you suggest to type here to understand or to identify the file? What do you think?
File.
Oh, Jesus. You arrive now and you talk the... Okay, that's correct. File. It's simple like this. Maybe idiot question, right? But it's interesting. For example, let me put here the file called NDC doctext. It's a simple text file, right? Because file is a tool from Unix in this case that identifies a file type. That's okay? Nice. So if a file type, I can read what kind of information I have here. But if you read more, if you see more deeply, what is kind of text? What do you think? Is another idiot Python script, right? Maybe I'm not polite, you know, no? I'm using a lot of idiot or something like this, bullshit words, but anyway. Okay, so if I put here the simple like this, is a simple Python script. I will print this information. Do you know malware? It's a simple like this. So if is a Python script, could be if I if I execute a, for example, file, they should print us not a text file, but they should print another information, like a Python executable. Why not didn't print? It's a good question, right? Maybe some answers? No? Let me manipulate this file. And I will put here simple double quote. No, 3 double quotes. And I will save here, as you can see. Yes. Let me confirm. As you can see, it's here, right? And now, let me, what happened now? I try execute, but I have some problem with the syntax. That's correct, right? But now it's really Python script, not more text file. You see? It's different. Let me change once again. I will cut this, and I will put here just a simple %PDF -1 doc whatever, and I will save here again, and I will type file. Let's see what happened. It's a PDF file. But it's not PDF file, right? Because if I put here Python, what do you think? Works or not? No? Yes? Who think is no? It's a good question. No one's, I don't. No, it's the same problem, syntax error. You see? Because we need to use in some parameters. But let me change here something here. NDC, the security, doc PDF. Okay. So now, PDF ID is another tool to identify strings in the PDF files. They collect some information inside of this PDF, okay? Actually, PDF a text file with shiny things, you know, fonts, bookmarks, and whatever. Okay, NDC. So they tried to find some information. They didn't find any object, streamings. I'll explain it during the conversation what that means each part, okay? But these tools looking from this file, and this tool understand that is a really PDF. Let me explain using, for example, PDF ID, my friend Bill. It's a real malicious PDF, as you can see. Many objects, many strings to analyze. But this document is not a PDF. The content is a Python, you see? So if I do another simple manipulations here, and I will cut once again, and I will save, and now I will try execute this Python, whatever, Python, NDC. Take a look at the extension. Doc PDF, works or not? Yes, it works based on the content. But if you see, the extension is different. And if I put in here PDF ID, so we can see the informations, right? I'm missing the D. You need to help me, guys. It's not a PDF document. Why? Is the extension is PDF?
Linux doesn't care about extension.
Not exactly, but not because of the Linux. I can do the same, for example, in Windows, using the file type. The point is, I using something in the file, manipulate something in the file to trick the tools. Not only one like a file, but the PDF ID. That's the key. So I'm seeing many people looking, so how is possible? Because each file, whatever file, has one simple thing in the beginning of the file. And this information is here. Oh, Filipe, I don't like to read manual. I don't like to. But it's here, the magic. All files has a magic number. I'm manipulating the magic number, basically. They both, the same file, actually, because I manipulate sometimes. The 3 double quotes is one of the string used in Python. But of course, when I try to execute, I receive the error of the syntax. I could use it, for example, being /Python, for example. I could use is the same magic number. So that's the key. When you think about the file, the identification step it's really very important part. But I need to understand how each tool works. Because you see, I can induce the tools to bring them the results. That's the key. Okay? Nice. So we understand the bullshit part, or the theoretic part, and we understand that we can manipulate files. Okay? So now, how the attacker or penetration testers or someone can go inside of the environment. They need to find many possibilities. They can use, for example, keys, secrets, tokens, or they can see, for example, application vulnerable, right? So this is one example of the entry point, the possibility to enter inside of the environment. The file upload is a simple vulnerability when the web server allows the user to upload files, whatever kind of files. It depends, you can treat in the application, but it's a simple example, okay? So here, one simple example, I will record this in a pen tester lab. It was free when I recorded this. I don't know now if it's free or not, but when I do this test, it was free, okay? But we have here the simple application, as you can see, the possibility to upload file inside of that. The application is in PHP, as you can see. I just create a simple shell script in PHP. If you see here, let me pause here. So it's a simple get that I will do. I can use it here, for example, CMD, whatever. I can put in here Filipi, I can put in, for example, NDC. Just this is a simple command that I will do to request or to explore this vulnerability. But to gain the access, I need to upload this file inside of the web server, okay? So that's the vulnerability here. So I create this simple shell.php, and I need to upload this inside of the environment, as you can see here, because the application in the back end is in PHP. So if you see here, the upload is done, works. And here you can see a very common mistake in the application. We can see the real path, where is the place where this file will be uploaded. As you can see, inside of the server, you have a folder called upload/image/files. Not only this, but you can check here if you see. And I will put in here the file, shell.php, set the CMD again, and I can set some command, the command injection. I can read information inside of this environment based on this vulnerability called file upload. As you can see, I just set some uname-a. If you don't have a experience with that, like this, ls uname-a, the same thing that I do. So, but if you see here, I'm using the attacker machine to compromise the victim machine. Okay? That's just possible because of this vulnerability. Okay? That's just to finalize. I put in the PWD to see the path, and again, the ls to list the information inside of this directory, okay? Nice, let me go to the second example. In the second example, as you can see here, the developer treat this vulnerability. I try to send a file, and I receive the answer, no PHP. Okay, that's cool, and give me the same information. But take a look at this. I creating a similar file. I just change the extension, as you can see here. If you see here, it's the same. If I put doc text, if you see here, continue to be a PHP. Why? Because I change in the magic number, I just change in the extension of the file. You see? Simple like this. I just copy and paste the file and change the extension, not the content. Okay? And when I try to upload done, it works. Because the developer, in this case is a developer. The Guild is not developer, okay? I'm a security guy, and I think the developer needs to work together with the security team. But in this case, if you see here the same vulnerability, the same problem, we can see the path, we can see whole things, okay? So if this is the first example, okay, in the real code. If you see here, this information should be behind, but you can see. And here, how we can treat. We don't have any treatment inside of the code. In the second example, as you can see the preg match doc PHP. This is the only treatment based on the developer, based on the extension. If you see here, because of that, I just changing the extension. I could be using, for example, PDF, Excel, whatever, doc, for example. I could use, I get success the same case, based on the extension, because this is the validation, okay? What is the impact, Filipi? Basically, when you get in the environment, you can try gain the reverse shell. You know what is this reverse shell? Yes? Okay. Basically, I need to figure out if I have this netcat, for example, inside this environment. If you have, I can open this conversation between the victim machine to the attacker machine, or the command and control, whatever name, or my machine, or the penetration tester machine. Basically, I need to listen, open my machine, the attacker machine. This one is attacker machine. I will open the listener to receive this connection from the victim machine. It's just possible because of my shell inside of that, okay? So I just open port 443 because it's more common, okay? I could use another port, but this is more common using in the attacker, or by the attacker. I just set in here -a bin bash, and if you see here, I'm inside, okay? Now I have a shell. I can manipulate by here. That's the possibility, based on the vulnerability, okay? Okay, that's cool. So we understand that you can manipulate files, and we understand how we can go in the environment. Okay, Filipi, but many companies can treat this application. That's correct. But let's imagine now two specific cases. One is, for example, ATR company. Usually the ATR, to automate the process, they have specifically applications that can put your name, you can upload your CV, okay? You can submit this PDF, because usually it's PDF, right? The ATR team will receive this PDF. So this is the application, one possibility. If you work with this kind of team, you need to look more deeply about that. Or other possibility, other case is a financial. Probably the systems nowadays have some application that you can upload invoices inside of that to be more automated the process. Or if you are a speaker, or if you are traveling for business, you pay some bills in the restaurant, you take a picture, you upload this picture in the applications, right? This application send it to the back end of the server. So this is some possibilities, because you have this upload process. So you can see the case, some cases, okay? So now, we understand what is the file or possibility to investigate. We can understand how we can go in. Okay, so how I can create in this kind of a possible weapon, okay? Because it's a weapon. We have an entry point, but you need to achieve this objective. So let me explain more about what is exactly PDF, how PDF works. We have usually in PDF 4 parts. The header is very common in whatever file. The body, the cross-reference table, and the trailer is 4 parts, okay? Usually it's divided in this way, as you can see. In the beginning, here is the version number, the header, and as you can see as well, the magic number, okay? The body usually is a page, object, image, fonts, is the shiny things in the PDF, okay? Cross-reference table is a location of the object. It means that, remember that the PDF has many objects. That's the interesting point here to understand how the PDF works. These objects are accessed, the access inside of these objects is totally referring, they work like a tree. They have a one object root, okay, in the beginning. They have a child, like object 3, 4, or 5. And each child can be another child, like a tree, okay? So PDF work in this way. Let me explain here, for example. I have here many PDFs. The most part is malicious. If I put in here, for example, PDF dash parser, for example, it's not PDF parser. PDF ID is better. PDF ID, just to compare, Bill. If you see here, Bill has, for example, 44 objects, okay? Not only this, but I can, for example, using PDF parser, it's another tool, dash A, the Bill, okay? To see, for example, how many objects we have, if you have some comments, if you have how many trailers we have, cross-reference table, if you have indirect object streams, or if a linked of streams. Filipi, I don't know what is streaming. Nice question. Thank you for asking. The streaming is basically a streaming page, okay? I can put in many content inside of one streaming page, and I can compress these informations, and I can put inside of the PDF. Nice. I can have 10 object stream pages, and I can compress in one only PDF. That's cool, because when you just see one only PDF. But inside of that, you can see more than many pages, okay? Because of that, we need to investigate. Like this, for example, as you can see, we have a 44 objects. And take a look how many page streams we have here. This is not good to analyze, by the way. You spend a lot of time to investigate this specifically, by the way. Okay? But we have some informations, like, for example, to see how many. This is, if you need to focus on, you can focus on this specifically 3 objects. Remember, for T4, okay? In this specific example, I could focus on 27, 29, and 30. I can start with them, because this is totally, we can find the main page streams inside of the object, okay? And not only this, but take a look this URI. This is the reference that probably you have some URL inside of this PDF to redirect your access. Cool? This is nice information. So let me see another. I think I remember I have a Thor here. Thor is a nice guy. Yeah, just 18 objects. If you see here, it's not too big, because 18 is less than 44. But you have 16 objects. 16 streaming. There's a lot of streaming page inside of this. This one is, we need to find where is this one. Is the main object stream to analyze. So, not only this, but take a look at this. We have an open action. I don't know what that mean, open action, Filipi. Now I explain to you what is this. What does that mean exactly? Open action is a simple activities when you open the PDF to read, to view, something run automatically behind of the file. It means open action. So the only, remember the 2 cases, HR company and financial company. What is the normal behavior of the user when they receive an NCV and when they receive the invoice? Is to open the file, just to view, right? It's a normal behavior. They will open. When they open, based on this open action, something will happen automatically. The user don't need to interact again with the file, just to view. It's nice from the attacker. It's not nice from the security team, right? But it's nice. Other possibilities to see, for example, I can set, again, PDF parser. It's another 2-A, because I'm looking more for each object here in this case. If you see here, we have more informations or reference. Actually, they are explaining about 2 possible open actions. And here, one is specifically acro form. Maybe we can see some form to fill out something inside of this. And embedded file in object, if you see here, the object 828, or the reference is another 28. But Filipi, we have just 16, remember? Remember 16 objects? No, 18. And 16 streaming pages. So if you're good in math, you can, put in this how many objects you have. More than 30, right? So that's the key here. Remember, object streaming is compressed. If uncompressed, you have the raw data. Okay? Uncompressed, of course. Just to explain more about the objects, is sometimes maybe it's complicated, but if you see, it's not complicated. Just need to understand step by step how you can run, what kind of tool you can run, and so on and so forth. Okay? Nice. Let's go to the real investigation, because here I have here some malicious. I can do analysis now, but we have a time to do this investigation in live here. I have more 30 minutes here. But here I received the CV, very nice name, suggestive, by the way, because this makes sense with our example, right, and the ATR team. So after execute the file, take a look. This file has 15 objects, as you can see here. Okay. Nice. And only 2 streams. Oh, thank you, God. Just only 2 to analyze. Okay. Nice. And if you see here, we can find 5 references to JS or JavaScript. So let's think. Not only this, but let me return here. But what do you think if you see here, for example, let me put a zoom for the guys that were watching from YouTube. Something is interesting here. What do you think? Oh, Jesus, I explained during the conversation. What do you think is interesting here? Many things. What do you think?
You can execute the code.
Maybe. I explained one concept, call it open action. This file has an open action. And they have a JavaScript. So my question is, what do you think? PDF needs to have JavaScript? No, makes sense for me. So if you do some investigations, the first step, you can stop here. Okay, is a malware. You can collect the IOCs. You know what is that mean IOC? Indicator of compromise. Okay, you can collect hash MD5, hash whatever. You can go for each information. You can try to put in specifically antivirus scanning, like a virus total or whatever. You can put in, for example, in some sandbox cloud provider for free to collect information, because it's totally malicious, okay? It's 90%, not 100%, but 90% that you can see PDF with JavaScript is malicious. But we have here, in this case, open action. Okay, let's continue to see more informations about this specifically file, okay? Nice. So if I execute, for example, PDF parser, usually I put in help to explain how you can see what kind of information you can collect in this information. This tool is from DJ Steven, one researcher that create this, not only this tool, but many other tools. And that's the idea. So first, I will explain how you can, or where is the place that you can find the really JavaScript, the reference. So here you can see JavaScript in object 1, object 7, and in object 12. Remember, we have 15 objects, okay? And if I put in here JS, we have 2 reference in object 12 and object 1, okay? Nice, just to confirm, I use in PDF ID to see this information, and I use PDF parser tools bring us the same information, okay? Nice, cool. But now we need to go more deeply about each object to understand where is the place that I can find this specifically PDF or this specifically JavaScript. Where is this JavaScript? Okay. So as you can see, there is one parameter here called raw data or -w. As you can see, is a raw output for data and filters. Okay, inside of these tools, or this tool actually, because it's only one. Okay, so if I put it here, I will see the raw data here. I put in pipe less because my buffer is not too big here in this case in the terminator. Here you can see the structure. Remember the tree, as I explained how the PDF works? Here is the structure. Here you can see the object 1 is the root file. Sometimes usually is the object 1, but sometimes the root file can be another object. But you can find here in the first one, okay? This is the root file, object 1. And if you see object 1 referring other 6 objects, object 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This is the family. Oh, beautiful. Root is the father, big father, and you see 6th child or children, okay? 6 children. Big family, like my family. I have 4 children, by the way. I'm crazy, I know. But, I have a twins. It's mine. The other one, it was appliance, when I get married. But it's my data center, okay? It's mine, my management, okay? But I have 4 children. Okay, nice. But this is they have a 6. Okay. So let's continue to see this specific structure here. Nice object as I explained. And if you see here, take a look at this information here. The open action here and here is totally linked with what? It's a JavaScript. You see? So this open action is linked with the JavaScript. What does that mean? When the user receives the CV, remember, the user, it means the talent acquisition lady or man, whatever. When they open to view the CV, something happened. Remember, in the background, something happened using JavaScript. Wow, nice. It's nice, right? Nice for someone. But anyway. Okay, let's continue to see, because we need to find or to figure out where is this JavaScript. Object 2, 3, no lines, or just a shiny things. Object 3, referring, take a look, this is another father. Object 4 is a big, not big, but they have a 2 child. And object 7 referring object 10, another guy, they have a son here, in this case. And this one reference of the JavaScript here, object 10. Maybe you can look in the object 10. Oh, Jesus, object 9 is another big father. Have a 3 child, almost like me. Object 4 is a parent, they have a parents here, linked. Okay, object 10, we can see the reference of JavaScript, but they referring another. You see it's it's not redirected, but it's a totally linked, you see? Okay, object 11, you can find the first streaming, but if you see here, the left of this streaming. Remember, streaming is a page streaming, okay? It's compressed. It's too small. The left, the size is too small. And if you see here, the object 12 referring another is object 13. And if you go below here, the left here in this case is too big when you compare to another, of course, okay? And they have a specific parameter or flag set up here called flat decode. So what you need to do, we need to decode. That's the suggestion. We need to decode this page streaming here. In the object 13 is the object that you need to focus on, okay? So maybe here, let me go more deeply here, okay? I'm using here PDF-TK, is another tool. We can handle it. And I handle it to manipulate in PDF. Basically, you can use this tool to manipulate PDF. What kind of manipulation I can do, Filipi? I can do many things, like a merge of PDFs. I can split PDF. I can decrypt, encrypt informations, or password if it's necessary. And I can compress and recompress page streams. So what I want, uncompress. Remember? I would like to uncompress page streaming. Okay? So let me put in here PDF-TK. I set the file. I call the output, and I copy and paste. This is the output. And I set the flag uncompress here, as you can see. And after that, I have the dump file, doctext, just a simple text. And if you see here, this is the raw, uncompressed data. And take a look at this, our object 13. This is the JavaScript here. Wow, nice, I like this. I like this because I solved the problem, but when I found I didn't like. This is the JavaScript, but of course not too easy, is obfuscated. Let me give you another example here, in the real life. No, this is the real life too, but anyway. Here I received as another, let me check here, the name of the folder is, where is the folder? Oh, okay, it's here, PDF and new. Just to show you this, the same thing here. But in this case, it's a different cat dump. This is another malicious PDF. And at this moment, I'm doing some investigation in this specifically PDF. I'm not finished yet because I stopped in this part. I uncompressed this information, and I found here, I like this open action again, JavaScript. But I stopped here. Let me go below, here. If you go here, I don't have it here, but I close. I close, I close. I close, I close. Okay, this is the part that I stopped. This is another JavaScript obfuscated. But in this case, it's not too easy. This is more complicated because I didn't find here, in this case, the evil parameter that I found in another. So in this case, the code is divided in two, it's quite different. But I'm stopped in this part. Let me, a good example is a code. Yeah, I always forgot this because I'm using root. Dash user data, no sandbox. Probably when I finish this, I will publish an article and I will talk in another conference. What help here? Okay. So I stop in this part. If you see here, yeah, I have here take a look. This is interesting because as you can see here, I show in the video the success, but here is some failures that I'm working in this moment now. So this is the dumping of the file. You see? Okay. So I copy here. I try to do something here. I try to recreate here, and always error, always error. You know, that's the step of the investigations. Not only the success, but sometimes the failure. Just to show you the same procedure, but I'm showing here the failures. In the video, I just show you the success. But here's the failure, because this is the normal day, right? We try, you gain the access, you try, you failure. That's the real life. Just to show you something like this, here is some possibilities. For example, here I tried to execute, in fact, but I didn't get success, just to show you the failure. Let me go to the return here, the demonstration of the JavaScript. Here is the JavaScript obfuscated, okay? I copy and paste the code, and I create here the file called sample.html. Why I do this? Because I found here the evil parameter here, evil-ah, okay? And I know that this code is a JavaScript obfuscated. We have here the reference A, and here is the second reference, and I have an evil parameter. So I can try to disobfuscate this code. So based on that, I thought, okay, I have a JavaScript. If a JavaScript is a web application, if you have a web application, I can try to use an HTML, okay? And based on the evil parameter, this A, as you can see here, I just delete the first part of the evil and put document write to rewrite, okay, this file. So after that, I'm using some script here to help me, because again, I just show you the success, not the failures. But anyway, so I create a simple script in HTML, as you can see, and I save the file, as you can see, I save, and I need to give the permissions of this file, okay, because I need to access in my environment. And if you see here, this is the sample HTML, okay. when I execute itself in a Firefox, take a look what happened now. Firefox sample, I give the permission, and I found the payload. You know what that means? You know, payload is a package or code that I will download in the victim machine. This code will be responsible for the reverse connection between the victim to the attacker. So here is the payload from the attacker. So remember of the PDF, when the user open, JavaScript will running, and based on this running, they will download the payload in the victim machine. So okay, we have a payload, we have a many content malicious, but we can go more. We can go forward. So I create the other folder called payload, if you remember correctly, yeah? And I will copy and paste inside of this, and I will cut this %, this information inside of this, because I know that something is happening here. Usually when they're using this kind of attack, they use a kind of Unicode to encode information. You can use it, now it's the oldest, because usually now they change for the UTF-16, UTF-32, and so on and so far. Here is the code, okay? I'm using here Linux, but I can use it as well in Windows. I will show you the same example in Windows machine. But here is just to be more, two possibilities, not only Linux, but Windows as well. So I use here Mozilla. I will copy and paste the same code. You see, the payload code. I will copy and paste it here, and they're using here this specifically technique, UCS2, based on Unicode. I know that is technical, but you know, Unicode, you have an ASCII, 1 byte, you have an Unicode in 2 bytes, okay? UCS, as you can see here, UCS2 is based on the evolution of this is UTF-16, okay? Anyway, but this is the evolution, okay? Just to explain. And I will convert the UCS to hexadecimal, as you can see, and after that I will generate the hexadecimal to convert to file. In this case, in what file? In a binary, docbin, because this malware is to attack a Windows machine, okay? So I just create a very nice name, CNC, very creative, and after that I'm using another tool from DDA Stevens, Shore, to collect some information. So basically information that I will try to collect here is the IP address from the attacker. And if you see here, this is the IP address of the attacker, okay? So now, this is the origin of the attacker. So let's see what is the origin. I hope it's not in Brazil or Portugal, even in Oslo. Let's see. No, I don't know. I know what is this. It's in Estonia in this case. This attack is from Estonia. This is the place. But you see now the PDF, the whole steps. So when the user opened the PDF, remember, we saw the vulnerability, and we see the PDF. Remember when the user opened to view, JavaScript running, obfuscated. Based on this, they download the payload. This payload will call back with the victim, with the attacker. This attacker is based on Estonia, okay? We see the flow? Nice. So, but in cloud, how this works? So, it's a shared responsibility. Probably you already heard about that. All cloud providers explain this. We have a customer implementer needs to implement this kind of security tunnings like, you know, customer data, platforms, applications, AAM, whatever, and the cloud provider offering the high availability, not security. Okay, nowadays they are increasing, create like, you know, AWS Security Hub, GCP Security whatever, Azure Security motherfucker, no sé qué, whatever, right? This works, okay? Sorry for no being more polite, but anyway. Okay, so some information is important. When you talk about offensive security, mainly when you talk about the Active Directory, probably if you work with Active Directory, and how many people here heard about the, Jesus, I forgot the name of the Bloodhound. Who knows Bloodhound? Okay, you have a high value target. You can execute in the Active Directory. You can click in DC sync attack, for example. You can find how many users you have can suffer in this attack, for example. But in the cloud is different because the high value target is different. Because an Active Directory is a domain controller user. This is the high-value target. But in the cloud, it's different. But Filipi, what is the very high-value target? This terminology comes from the military, whatever. It's a bullshit part anyway. But it's important because it's a critical part of the environment, okay? So who is critical, who is the high-value target in the cloud? Usually in the past, we thought, the people thinking that's the C-level or the executive or the board member, but inside of the organization, whatever user that have access inside of this environment is a high-value target. So if it's whatever people that have the high access inside of the environment, in the cloud, all people is a high-value target because they have specific permissions in the cloud. If you're DevOps, if you're cloud engineering, if you're a database guy, everyone needs to have an access. They have a permission behind of this guy, okay? Another terminology, attack vector, attack path. Attack vector is a possibility to use it like a PDF, one of these possibilities to attack, like a malware, ransomware, phishing. Other examples are having weak credentials, poor encryptions, and misconfiguration. Usually this is the main, okay? That's all those things allow the access in the sensitive information inside of the environment, okay? And attack path is the way, okay, that the attacker running some attack. Like they comes from here, then go to there, and bypass the PCs, whatever. This is the picture, okay, the map, the chain. This is a picture from OWASP, this picture, okay? As you can see here, the threat agent, you see the attack, the weakness, remember the application, the weakness, okay? Control, I got a shell inside of the environment. Functions, I can see something that I can do, perform some scan to see if I found some tokens or something like this. The impact depends on the business, okay? But this is the map, okay? So how it's possible to execute this attack in AWS, for example? So the AAM services is the main service responsible for providing access inside of the resource. If you work, how many people works with AWS here? Okay, I need to explain this. Okay, it's basically a management of the identity access management inside of this service responsible for AWS, but this example applies for GCP, Azure, OCI, whatever cloud that you have, okay? Because usually the IAM is responsible for control the access for different research inside of the cloud, okay? Not only the authentication, but the authorization or whatever. We need to have the permissions, we need to have a rule, you are part of the specific group, so we have many possibilities in the cloud, okay? So this is the version or the way that the information that AWS brings us from the website, okay? The version, the statement is a bunch of information you can put inside of this JSON, okay? Important is the effect, allow or deny, and the action is another important thing. And the resource, usually here you can see the big mistake, the people using asterisk to access all resources. They should put in only the correct ARN, AWS resource name. They should put in the correct, not the asterisk. But usually, day by day is more easy to put the asterisk. That's a big misconfiguration. Okay, this is a simple example from AWS, if you see here. Simple read-only access policy. The statement, remember, bunch information. Effect, allow, just simple list and get. Okay, Filipi, it's not important because if the attacker gain the access with this policy, the attacker cannot rewrite anything, they cannot change anything. It's correct? Cool. But based on PII, I can list, I can read information. So it depends. It's not too danger, but it depends of the user. You see how it's important about the high-value target is different. Because let's suppose that the guy received this policy is the guy responsible for reading information of the PDFs in S3 bucket. Let's suppose I'm creating here the application, all CVs go into the bucket S3, okay? So one guy should be responsible for reading information inside of this. The CVs is a PII information, right? But if you are another user, you shouldn't have an access here. But if you have this permission, you can read. So it's a problem for the PII. You see? So it depends. Write or, do some delete is important. But sometimes read only is not problem. Depends of the policy. Okay, how we can explore, for example. Let's suppose I gain the access in AWS key and secret, and I list the user, try to list policies, and list group, everything deny, because this user don't have any permission in this environment, okay? So I create one specifically policy, and I call the attack module. I put in here create policy and create policy version, but this specifically attack works with the create policy version only. You don't need to use in create policy, just can use in create policy version. By the way, if you can try, if you want, you can do the same attack using just only create policy. And I'll show you why. So I create this specifically policy. I call create policy version, as you can see. I set here the resource name, and I call attack module permission. And after that, I ask it to the website, to the AWS website. I call the AWS how I can create in the full access in AWS. And the AWS suggests me in this folder, okay? My interest in this case is just for IAM service, because I'm explaining the IAM, okay? But they suggest me on other, like organizations, whatever. I copy and paste, just because I call how I can access, or how I can have full access in AWS. They bring me this, and not only this, but take a look, this asterisk here below, to access in full environment. And after that, I set the AWS IAM create policy version. Oops. Create policy version, I set here the my policy attack module, as you can see, and I set here the policy document, and I need to bring this information. What is the file? My file, this file, you see? And I set here set as a default. They go for the first one. If you see here, I change the permission. So first, I have this policy. Now I have this policy. What does that mean, Filipi? It means that if you see here, inside of this is a custom policy. Inside of the AWS, you have a read, write, and permission management, okay? So you can disable all, just enable one action. There's only one action, create policy version. This attack is based on this. It's not a 0-day here, as you can see. It's a misconfiguration attack, because probably someone received this. So because of that, it's important to check. This is the impact. If someone has this specifically action, they can suffer this attack. So based on that, if you see here, now I can list user, I can list policies, I can list whatever. So if I go, this is one very nice tool, open source, by the way, cartography. You can install in your environment. You can connect with your AWS account, Azure, GCP, Okta, whatever. And you can do this query in Neo4j, and you can call for each user that has this create policy version. And based on that, you can find how many users we have with this action. So let's suppose that you run in your environment, you have 100 people, but only 10 people should have this permission. So you have 90 people. You need to cut this access. That's the interesting key here. This is another tool, open source, AWS PX. Take a look at this. I love this possibility. So each user has many users, like this one, CFO, this guy here. It's important because they pay our salary. But anyway, we have here, if you see here, 16 actions, 4 actions. Here we have 47 actions. So many possibilities. You can try for each. Okay? Filipi, now, so how I can mitigate this, just to finalize. Okay? So here is the purpose. This is a very nice project that we are creating. It's totally free, okay? Full access in 3 clouds provider, AWS, GCP, Azure. We call this project Build With Us. So we are creating this specifically project now. And what is the main purpose here? Is to use in your environment or your production or your dev environment. You can run there, bring your feedback.
Page not found.
This QR code is not found? So you can put the senha segura. Oh, really? Oh, they disabled yesterday. Not yesterday. Yesterday. Yesterday, yeah, yesterday, because they changed the site, website. I should change the QR code. Okay. Page not found. Okay. You can put in just, if you like to try, is just put in senha segura, build with us, like this. You can find the URL, and you just register the user, simple like this. Basically, this is the web page. We can go in this page. We can integrate your environment. Filipi, I don't want to integrate with my environment. No problem. You don't need to integrate. You can use in this. You can receive the access in sandbox mode to see how the tool works, each feature. The only problem, it probably will talk with me because I'm responsible for collecting feedbacks, okay? But basically, you can find here the identities. This is just a fake information, of course. And this is the impact, what kind of recommendation when you have this kind of bad permissions or bad misconfigurations, okay? So we can see for different cloud providers solutions here, okay? And if you go, for example, for specifically user here, you can go like if you are compliant, of course, it's just for demo. You can see, for example, many different informations, like base, for example, in each user, for example, this one, if his compliance, for example, is administrator access, or if they have overprivilege of the environment. General information, it means, for example, based on the administrator access, they have a full access in the AWS, but this user specifically just use a 35 resource. So why they need to access in this all service if they don't need to access in 1 year? You see the overprivilege here is totally, you can see here. And this is one of the, I like this because I'm responsible for this access path. You can see here, for example, the whole path of this based on this user. So you can find this. Again, you just put in senha segura, build with us, so you can access this. This is, again, is sandbox mode information. So if you can integrate, you can integrate. We have many companies in Brazil, in Europe, using now and give us the feedback, okay? Just to it, this is a demo, okay, it's a print screen information. And guys, that's it. Thank you so much, again. I finished 3 minutes after that I started, so I think we don't have any time for question, but again, I'm around if you have any questions. Thank you so much, okay.